start recording. Who's my person that's supposed to tell me to start recording? It was okay the last class, but at the end of last class, it started being weird. And it's sort of laggy, like I keep getting stuck like this. All right, so make sure you're keeping everything in your keyboarding tracker. Make sure you're only putting numbers in those last two columns. I'm still missing several people, but we're going to keep going. I'll give y'all just a few more minutes or seconds to finish that. Seth, your brother in the last class said he couldn't get in because he didn't have a password, but I mean, I've never had a password before, so I'm not sure where he was clicking, but maybe next Tuesday you could help him get into my class at 9 o'clock.
He has the browser thing and not the app. So
Gotcha.
It didn't auto put in the password and it didn't work for some reason.
All right, y'all finished? Yes? No? All right, so again, we're going to start, I'm going to start giving you participation grades for your warm-ups. So starting at the end of next week, you're going to start turning in your keyboarding tracker to me at the end of the week, so I can give you a little grade for that, and I can make sure you have everything set up right. Because eventually we are going to manipulate it and find our averages and create charts with it and things like that. So I do need everybody's to be set up correctly, okay? All right, so what we're going to do today, I know we worked on our Prezi. I know we worked on our Prezi at the end of class last time, and then I stopped you at the very end, and we watched the Google Draw video. That Google Draw video is based off of you drawing a picture, taking a picture of it, and then uploading it to Google Drawing. So I'm going to show you a couple of videos today where if you're not a great artist and that's not something you're interested in and you don't want to draw anything, you can just use shapes, you can layer shapes, you can use the polyline tool to draw things, just smaller objects. So I wanted you to be thinking about what type of logo you wanted to create for your theme. So I hope you've been doing that. And then, so what we're going to do today, if you look, I'm going to share my screen real quick. If you look in Google Classroom, I have due tomorrow Google Draw practice. So what we're going to do today is we're going to watch a couple, like I said, a couple more videos, and these are going to be a little, oh, hold on, Carly Timberlake's trying to get in. So these videos we're going to watch today are going to be more of using shapes and things like that to create documents in Google Draw or to create logos. Carly, you in here? Get there. Hello? Oh, wait, she's still trying to get in. Bless a milk cow. Carly. Okay, so we just did our warm up. So you can go back and do that later. Just make sure you put it in your keyboarding tracker, okay? Because next week we're going to start turning those in. All right, so we're going to watch a couple more videos today on Google Drawing. a little more basic and using shapes. And then I'm going to give you some time in class to practice, and you're going to turn it into me. Hopefully you can, I put out there that it's due tomorrow, just in case some of you are on the road or you're not where you can get to your computer. So I have it out there due for tomorrow, but as of Sunday, or probably as of tomorrow, I will go ahead and put a grade in for that. So we're going to go ahead and watch the videos, and I have them out here in classwork. So you can go back and watch these videos again if you need to. I also made you guys an assignment topic under Google Classwork, so that way you can see. So far, these are the 2 things we've turned in so far. But I'm going to go down to Google Draw, and I've put in the different ones that I've added so far. Justin Timberlake, I don't know if any of y'all had me last semester, but I think it was like a half day or something. And Banana's class came over in my room. We watched the Google Draw where he drew Justin Timberlake's face. It's super detailed, and it's like a 48-minute video. But if you're really interested in drawing something and taking a picture of it, that's a really good one to watch, because he tells you exactly how to recreate that. And then I've sort of labeled what they are. We've already watched the one that says Dream logo down here. So if you missed that, make sure you go back and watch that. That's a really good video. That's the one we watched in class on Tuesday. So the next one we're going to watch is Shapes, and we're going to watch Poster. And I also have 2 other videos out there for you to watch if you would like to. These are all vector drawings, and sort of like you're just taking your whatever you draw and you turn it into a cartoon. So those are a little bit different. Those are really neat though. All right, so we're going to watch the shapes first. If for some reason you can't hear it, let me know.
Hi, my name is Holly Jackson, and I'm going to be doing a tutorial today on Google Drawing. Google Drawing is an app that you can use. It's housed within your G Suite or your Google Drive, and you can use it to do a lot of things in the classroom and create drawings and different images that you can place on any digital file. So we're going to go ahead and get started. You'll start by going to your Google Drive, which is at drive.google.com in your web browser. You're going to come to the top left-hand corner and tap on New. And you'll want to scroll down to where it says More. As you scroll down, you'll see there's an option for Google Drawings. You want to tap on that. What will happen is your Google Drive will open you a brand new Google Drawing. This will save automatically in your Google Drive, just like any other Google file. You can title your drawing by tapping right here. So I'm just going to put Practice. And what I'm going to make is a Venn diagram, because I'm going to be placing this into a presentation I'm doing or a slide deck that I want my students to be working on that I'm going to assign in Google Classroom. So you can see there's a lot of different tools here that you can insert text boxes, images, you can add comments, draw lines. I'm going to go ahead and add some shapes because I'm making a Venn diagram. So I'm going to tap on a circle. And I want my circles to be exactly the same. And so I'm going to come up here to Edit and Copy. And I'll go to Edit and Paste. And I've made a second circle. And you know, with a Venn diagram, I want them to overlap. You'll see some red guidelines popping up. Those red guidelines will help you center things. So it's just helping you keep your 2 circles lined up. I'm going to make my circle transparent. You see you have, once you've selected one of these items, you have a lot more options. So now that I've selected my circle, I'm going to change it and make it transparent. So I'm going to do that to both circles. I also have some options here of, you know, changing the border, making it thicker, which I want to do. So I'm going to make them 3 point on each side because I want to make it a little bolder. One neat thing about all of these shapes is if you double tap them, you can type in them. So we know with a Venn diagram, we'll put our differences here. Say I want that to be centered in my circle. I'm going to put that in the center. Scooch my circle over a little bit. All right, and that's how you make some basic shapes. You see you have all your formatting tools up here. You can actually link things to them, and there's lots you can explore here. But let's practice and pretend that I'm all done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share this, or I'm going to save this as a file. You have a couple of options. You can go ahead and insert it right into a new document or presentation. I want to download this as a file. So say I want to put this in something else, I'm going to download it. I'm going to come here, and I highly recommend that if you want that background to remain transparent, that you download it as a PNG file. All of these are image files, but that one will keep the background transparent. So I'm going to tap on that. You can see it saved down here in my downloads. I'm going to just show you what a transparent image looks like in a presentation. So I'm going to just quick create a Google slide so you can see what that looks like. Get rid of my text here because I'm just going to make this an image. It's going to be a Venn diagram I want my students to work on. I'm going to change the background so you can see what it'll look like. Ooh, that's bright. And then I'm just going to drag my image right here. So you can see with Google Drawing, I quickly made a really nice Venn diagram for my students to fill out in this slide deck that I'm going to assign to them in Google Classroom. So that's just a brief introduction to Google Drawings. Thank you for watching this tutorial on Google Drawings. Be sure to subscribe, like, and follow us by clicking on the links below in the description.
Okay, so that one's pretty basic. That one just shows you how to put in shapes and sort of how to, really the transparent part is the big part of that one, because you want your photos to be transparent so that way you can layer them and you won't have that background. So the next one's a little bit longer. This one is actually creating a poster, but the way that he uses the shapes is super cool, so I wanted y'all to watch this one too. After we finish this one, we'll spend some time creating our own.
Hi everybody, welcome to Pomeroy Creative. This is Josh, and welcome to a new video series on using Google Drawings. This video course is going to kind of take you from the very beginning if you've never used Google Drawings before, and hopefully help you try to create something like this. These are just some of the things that you could create using Google Drawings. Now, to find or access Google Drawings, you need a Google or Gmail account, and then you go to Google Drive. Google Drive is where all of the Google web applications live. It's almost like its own virtual computer with a file management system. You can store any format of file as well as create new files, documents, spreadsheets, presentations, and drawings. Now, I want to clarify something about drawings. It has the name Drawings, but it's much more like Microsoft Publisher. We're doing sort of desktop publishing type of drawings rather than sketching with pen or pencil. That actually doesn't happen in this program. This is more about using shapes and photos and text to create something very unique and beautiful, hopefully. So there's a couple ways that I can access this application. Right now I'm looking at my Google Drive folder, and you can see here, these are all folders. It just puts them into these little blocks right here, and inside there I've got many more files. I can go over here and click this red New button, and that will drop down and give me some options to create a new document. And if I go to More, under here I've got Google Drawings. I can click it there. I could also click it sort of just in this gray desktop sort of area over here. Right click, New File, Google Drawing. This will open a new tab, and in this new tab we have the entire application. This runs in any web browser, but I highly recommend Google Chrome because there's some benefits in using Google Chrome with Google's apps, as well as it's just a great lightweight, fast web browser that I would recommend, even just for browsing the internet. So here's what you get when you create a a brand new Google Drawings document. There's this canvas area right here in the middle, and this little checkered pattern just indicates that it's a transparent background. There's no background, there's no color, there's no picture, it's just transparent. And so if I exported something from this right now, it would be transparent. Unless it was a JPEG, then that automatically defaults to white. The first thing that I like to do is give it a name and then set up the document dimensions for whatever I'm trying to make. So in this demonstration, let's create a poster. I'm going to go up here to this untitled drawing text right here, and you get this pop over that says rename. I click that, and I get a little dialog where I can name this. And for this demo, I'm just going to say poster. You can name it whatever you like. Click OK. That way you don't have a whole bunch of untitled drawings sitting in your Google Drive folder. The next thing I'm going to do is go over to this file menu right here. Drop this down and go down here to page setup. It's the third from the bottom, right above the print options here, page setup. And I do this first because I want to explain this clearly. If you have artwork in here already, whether it's word art or pictures or shapes, and then you go to resize your page, it will try to skew or stretch that artwork as best it can to sort of reformat to the new size. And most of the time, that's not the desired effect that you want. A way around that is just to select everything that you have on the canvas, hit Command or Control X. That will cut it to the clipboard. Then you can change your page settings, and then Command or Control V will paste everything back in, and then you'll probably have to do some readjusting now to your new layout. But this is why I set up the page first. So here we have standard 4x3. This is what they always start with by default in a Google Drawing. We have some widescreen here, some quick selections, or we can just do custom. That's what we're going to do. Most of the time, you're probably going to want to choose custom. We can choose inches, centimeters, points, or pixels. We're going to keep it on inches. We're going to make the width 11. We're going to do a tabloid size 11 by 17. So put those dimensions in and click OK, and it will straight away reformat our document to those dimensions. Now we still have this checkered pattern in here, so let's go ahead and change that to a color. To do that, we can just right click anywhere on the canvas or over here in this gray desktop area, and let's just make it blue. You can choose whatever color you want, but this just gives us a colored background to work on, and that can be done at any time. You can change the color of that background anytime you want. With a simple right click, you get a context menu, change the color in there. Now let's add something to this. Our insert menu is our friend. Let's go to insert and choose word art. Word art is very interesting. It's different than your text boxes. Text boxes sort of flow like you would expect a text document to work. Word art works more like a shape once it's inserted. So let's just put in some sort of name here. I guess we'll just call it poster. Now we get a very generic Arial font with a black outline and a light blue fill. You can move these around anywhere you want just by clicking and dragging this. That's the nice thing about word art. You can resize it, and holding shift will maintain your proportions. I never like to stretch text, so I use shift a lot. Okay? So let's go ahead and I'm going to take off the stroke just by clicking this little pencil and saying transparent, and then the paint bucket, I want to make it white text. Okay, now if I start dragging it over, I start to see these little guidelines. I get one when I hit an edge, there's a little red guideline. I get one when I hit the center, there's a red guideline. I get one when I hit this other edge, red guideline. So I want it in the center. Now if I want to put it in the center vertically, I can just drag it down until I get two guidelines going right through the middle. That lets me know I'm right in the middle. I want to make this a little smaller, so I'm just going to click it and then drag a corner in, holding shift, and if I hold option, it will drag it, or it will resize it on both sides the same way, just like that. That's pretty good. But I want to change a font. So if I just click it, and then up here I see Arial. Here's a whole bunch of fonts that I have. If you go to more fonts, this pulls from the Google's web font library. And just by clicking any of these fonts will add to your list of fonts. There are tons and tons of fonts in here, which is really great. So for now, I'm just going to choose one that I've already added called 6 Caps. I'm going to try to create some sort of movie poster, I think. All right, now I want to resize it and maybe put it up here. And let's drag this down. Now, if you hold Option or the Alt key on your keyboard while you drag something, it will drag a duplicate. Another way to do this is just Command D. That creates a duplicate, and you can drag it somewhere. I like using this little gray area over here that's off the canvas to do a lot of editing and then drag things into the document to position it. So if I double click the word art, it pops up the dialog where I can change that text. Let's say movie. This is going to be a movie poster. I can line these up. Now this top one I could make a little bit bigger, and I get these great guides again. Let's change this background so you can see these really nice and clear. Let's make it black. All right, let me do that again. So when I get guidelines that are blue, it lets me know that that's the same width or height as something else, which is a great way of lining up your document, making it look really nice and professional. So those are now the same width, which is a really cool little trick, and I can just put those right in the center if I want. But I know I'm going to want some text down here or something down at the bottom, so I'm just going to move those back up, maybe make them a little smaller, and I can do that while having both of them selected. I can also put them into a group with Command or Control G. Boom. Now when I move them, they will move together, just like that. I use the grouping feature a lot in Google Drawings. All right, the next thing we could do is maybe insert a shape. Let's do that. We can put in a shape, just a simple shape here, maybe a circle. And if you click, you'll get, and drag, you'll get an ellipse. You'll start to get an oval. If you want to keep it a circle, again, Shift is our friend. That'll constrain the proportions to make a perfect circle. And just like any shape, we can change the stroke, which is the pencil, make that transparent, and the fill, which is the paint bucket. Let's make that white. We also get these great guides when, let me ungroup this, which is Command Shift G or Control Shift G. We'll get guides that show us position in relation to one another, or distribution. So you see these small little guides here. When I line something up, that lets me know that these are all equidistant from each other. Okay. Sort of an old school minimalistic movie poster looking here. Maybe James Bond or something. All right, maybe we can put just another circle in here, just for fun. We'll use this donut shape. This is a really cool shape. We'll turn off the stroke, and this time we'll make it black. We can position that. Again, we look at our guides. It snaps nicely for us. And these smart shapes here give us these little yellow or orange diamonds that we can adjust to do all sorts of fun things. So this donut shape can do a whole lot of things for us. We can have a thin stroke like that, or we can have a thick sort of target symbol now. Let's make it thin, just like that. Maybe make it a little bigger. Okay, so this is a great start to something that we could really make very interesting. We've got a lot more shapes that we can play with. There's arrows, there's callouts. Maybe we'll put a star in here. We can choose a star, click and drag, hold Shift. That'll keep our proportions right. And again, this is a smart shape, so we can change the angle of these points. Let's turn off the stroke. Make this a black star, just like that. Change the size of it, something like that, and just line it up right where we want it. Maybe we'll make the star a different color. We can do that by having it selected, going to our paint bucket tool and then just choosing another color. If you want a custom color, go to the paint bucket tool and here's custom. This will open a little paint mixer or color mixer that you can choose and really tweak your own color. You can also, if you know the hexadecimal code, just type it right in here or paste it in from another website. So there we have a very minimalistic but fun looking movie poster. It's 11 by 17 document, and we could go to File, Download As. We could download that as a PDF that would hold all of our shapes and text in vector data so that we could print at a high resolution. We could also do this with SVG or scalable vector graphic. If we wanted an image of this, we could download it as a PNG or a JPEG. I would only recommend downloading it as a JPEG if you want to use it on like a social media website like Facebook, because this does compress it quite a bit to make a very small file size. PNG will give you a better quality though. So that's it for this first video of this series on using Google Drawings. I hope you've learned a lot. We're going to get way more in depth in videos to come, so stick around, hit the subscribe button, and you'll get notified.
Okay, so the big takeaways from that one, you can use those grid lines, you can change the colors, you can layer your shapes to make them all different types of, create different objects with different types of shapes, just grouping them together. Grouping them together is a big deal when you're making a logo or anything in Google Draw or anything in any desktop publishing type of object. Abby just sent me an email and it said and asked, can you use something else? I do, besides Google Drawing. I do have somebody who has Adobe and they're going to use that in the last class. And I've had people use Adobe before, and if you're familiar with it and you have it, I still would like you to draw it yourself or use shapes instead of, I don't want any internet images at all. I want it to be something that you create. The only thing, Abby, that I was going to say about yours is that you want to be able to download it, like how at the very end right there where he downloaded it as a PDF. You guys are going to have to be able to download it as a PNG file. A PNG file is just a picture, and that way you can use it in everything that we do, in brochures, business cards, everything, even spreadsheets, everything that we use for your theme, we're going to put your logo in it. So it does need to, whatever you use, it needs to be able to be saved as a PNG file. PDFs are okay for it to be saved as. That's good because that guy was making a poster. But for us, we want to be able to insert it like a picture into other things. So we want to be able to download it as a PNG. So that's the only thing, Abby. Just make sure whatever app you want to use that you can do that, okay? All right, so what I'm going to do now, let me show you. Jace is asking me like my class code and all that stuff. Is he on here? Hibachi? There he is right there. It's always the same link. I don't know what else. I don't know what my code is or my password or anything. I just made one link and it's the same link for everybody. So that's all I know.
No, I just ain't even joined it yet, and I just realized that we're supposed to join the Google Classroom.
I have it.
Oh, the Google Classroom. I thought you were talking about the Zoom thing, the password. Okay, yeah. So Google Classroom is, let's see, let me share my screen. Our classroom is, just so everybody can see it, this is our code right here. All right, so everybody should be in there. And so today, what we're going to do for the rest of class, we still have about 15 minutes left. I just want you to practice in Google Draw. And whatever you practice with, whether it's shapes or if you're drawing something yourself using the polyline, I just want you to turn in whatever you do today in your practice. So I'm going to give you all about 15 minutes, or actually like 14 minutes to work. And then I'm going to put you in breakout rooms, and then we'll come back together at the end and just give you a little time to turn it in, okay? All right, let's stop. Get off of there. Stop sharing. And if you want to go ahead and start working on your logo, if you already have an idea of what you want to do, you can go ahead and do that. Or you can just play with it. If it's your first time using Google Drawing, you can just play with it and see how it goes. All right, I need everybody to turn their cameras on when I put you into breakout rooms. So that way, if you guys have any questions, you can ask each other. All right, so I'm gonna put you in there. Let's do. Okay. Just hit join, Boo. Do you see it? All right, I'm going to add my Google Draw that I made yesterday. Very simple. To the Google Classroom wall. it going? Turn your cameras on. All right, y'all don't have any questions for me? All right, I'm gonna leave you. See you in a little bit. How's it going? Good? Some people love it, some people hate it. Y'all got any questions for me? Okay. And again, you can just do a practice one. So if you've never used it before, or if you already know what you want to do for your logo, you can start working on it and send me what you got. All right, I'm gonna leave y'all. See you in a little bit. Hey, how's it going? Good? Seth, I can't see your face. The only boy. All right, so again, if you just want to practice, if you've never used it before, just get in there and click on it, click around and see what you can do with it. If you already know what you want to do with your logo, you want to start working on it, you can do that too. You're just going to send me what you got by the end of class today, okay? All right, you got any questions for me? All right, I'm gonna leave y'all then. See you in a little bit. How's it going? Good? Good. You got any questions or anything? Okay.
Can it be like a simple design?
Absolutely.
All right.
And if y'all just want, if you've never used it before and you just want to play around with it right now and just send me what you got, or if you want to start working on your logo, you can do that too, and then just send me what you have at the end of class. Either way. I mean, even if it's simple, you can still add things to it and layer things on it that make it look really professional. All right, I'm gonna leave y'all. See you in a little bit. All right, so we still have a couple minutes left. Whatever you've worked on in Google Draw, just go ahead and turn into Google Classroom. So just go back to the Google Classroom and go to classwork and click on your assignment. Or you can click on it from the stream and then just turn in what you've done so far. And that's fine. Yeah, if you're working on your actual logo, that's fine. Just send me what you've done so far today. So if you're working on your actual logo, you probably aren't finished. I would hope not, that you didn't only spend 20 minutes on it. So if you, whatever you did today, though, I want you to turn in to me so I can see what you've done. I put mine out there that I just did while y'all were working. It's on the stream wall. Again, I'm not an artist, so I just throw some shapes out there and group them all together. I love the word art feature. I love being able to copy the shapes and keeping everything grouped together as one item. Helps a lot. All right, anybody got any questions? If you want to work a little bit more and then turn it in, that's fine. I'm not going to put these grades in until the end of the day. Yes, Jackson?
Where do you turn in the thing that we did today, or the
You
logo?
can either go to the stream for this class and click on it where it says Google Draw Practice, or you can go under classwork and where it says assignments, there's one there too. So just turn in whatever you've made today. All right. Peace out, homies. I'll see y'all next week.